Time for Immortal Behaviour for the final time in 2018 with the 8th. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Nice to see you, mate. So let's get stuck into it. Grand final, the Roosters over the Storm. Can you believe some of those storylines that have come out of it?
Well, it's just rugby league, isn't it? Every week there's some sort of soap opera, and it seems like the game thrives on it, the game lives on it, the fans love it. But I think this year there was pretty much a bit of extra spice and extra storylines. I thought Cooper Cronk played along well. He played the fiddle well with some of his press conferences.
Yeah.
What was it? You're on a need-to-know basis.
Totally.
And was there something about I'm a zero chance of not playing? And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he went. There was a 100% and there was a 0%. He left us all guessing. In the end,
at that stage, I sort of glazed over.
yeah, and it was a long 7 days, and we didn't know until an hour before kickoff. I saw News Corp describing him as useful as a gelding at a stud. Very clever line.
Very, very good.
The fact that it was 12 players and a coach out there, but we saw that in the second half of the prelim, so we knew it could work.
Yeah.
We were surprised how well it did work for the Roosters.
Well, the storyline from the game is Keary. Keary next year will be Origin. Whether he's Origin halfback or Origin 5'8", Keary showed in that game. I didn't know he had those tools. He's an out-and-out halfback. So moving forward, the Roosters have found their number 7 moving forward. Then they can start thinking about who they're going to buy at 6 because Keary's performance was just out of this world. Once again, I sort of called for it last year in Origin 2 when J2 hurt his shoulder. I couldn't believe Melbourne missed the opportunity to manipulate the injury and the weakness of Cooper Cronk. Now, some excuses. Twice Munster went to the sin bin. That's Munster's side of the field. Munster isn't an organising sort of 5'8", he's more of instinctive and running 5'8". But they just had to get 2 big men opposite Cooper and run inside and out Cooper, make him make tackles. And then what happens is, then you manipulate the gaps either side. So the centre who's defending on the outside of Cooper starts getting worried. The back rower who's defending on the inside of Cooper, Mitch Orbison, he starts worrying. So then you can manipulate the other gaps around Cooper. But the first 30 minutes is the worst I've seen Melbourne Storm play for probably 10 years. Terrible early. And in the second half, still could have won the game.
Yeah, won the second half. What about Blake Ferguson? Broken leg, played on for half an hour.
Did he?
Bizarre.
You see, I haven't really followed it since the
grand final finish.
well, what a year Blake Ferguson's had. He's had a cracking year.
Poor old Eagles get a bloke with a broken leg, but it sounds like no surgery, just a matter of rest.
Well, it goes to show adrenaline in big games what it does, and courageous effort.
Trent Robinson, now he's got 2 titles, got the first in 2013 in his number 1 year with the Roosters. Now he's got the second, 4 minor premierships in that half dozen seasons. Where does he rank?
Well, he's starting to be a super coach. He sort of start walking around in one of those mink coats like Jack Gibson and start doing odd behaviour and start sending text messages at 3 a.m. to his players like all the super coaches do. But a fair bit to do with Trent Robinson. I've helped him at the Roosters with the halves, just a minimal sort of coaching role there, but our kids play footy together, so I see what sort of person and what sort of coach he is. Very intelligent guy, speaks multiple languages, he's always thinking, trying to improve himself in different areas, so he's a career coach. I think he'll be there for the next 10 or 20 years, however long he wants to stay at the Roosters. And when he finishes, we'll be up there with the likes of Jack Gibson, Warren Ryan, Bob Fulton, Craig Bellamy, Wayne Bennett, all the super coaches.
You speak of Bellamy, he's got a test on his hands now. Okay, no Cooper Cronk from last year, now no Billy Slater. Is it a downward spiral for the Melbourne Storm?
Yeah, I think so. And Cameron Smith, he hasn't really said if he's going to play on or not. But
he was asking for a contract post-match.
It's the end of an era, and you can't replace those players. So they have to totally blow the club up and start again and start, especially their attack, how they attack differently. But yeah, for me, I think they're about to come back to the field.
What do you think about Billy Slater being booed by the crowd in Sydney on Saturday?
I think it's a sign of respect. That's what happens, doesn't matter in rugby league. Paul Gallen goes to Suncorp Stadium, what happens up there? All the best players in any code around the world. You go to soccer games in Europe, the best players get booed by the opposition fans. I think a lot of people had the same sort of attitude as myself and Freddie, that he shouldn't have been there. I was glad he was there, but by the letter of the law, it was a shoulder charge, and if they were fair nicking, I don't think he should have been there. I was happy he played, but where do they go now? So I think a lot of the crowd was like that. So he got booed. He wouldn't have cared less. Couldn't have cared less.
Now he gets a statue, Ian Cam, outside Amy Park.
Do they?
Mm.
Wow.
Put up in bronze. You've got a stand in Newcastle, haven't they?
Yeah, but have you seen it? It's like a huge stand, and then the sign is like that big. It's like, we'll give you this, but we don't really want this to be your stand. So when they announced it, I was sort of out in the field looking, going, how good's that? And they're going, look closely. I'm going, well, I've been eating the carrots. I can't see anything. And then I went, oh, they're putting it in Braille. Thanks, Andrew, for your contribution.
Have they offered you a statue?
No.
No. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey,
Be kind on the backside if you do a statue.
Hey, let's move on from statues in the grand final. The Kangaroos. Greg Inglis was named as the captain. Hours later,
It's a cup of tea.
I can vouch for that. Hours later, he was caught speeding, drink driving. He's since been stood down from the matches and from the captaincy. What have you made of the whole situation?
Well, it's a mistake everyone can make. You know, day two after a big night in the tiles, and you think you're all right, but you know, you hear so many people. Not a lot of my mates. A few of my mates have been caught the next day. But yeah, you fill your boots the night before. You got to be careful the next day. It's an accident. I feel really sorry for Greg because first Indigenous captain since Arthur Beetson. He deserves the honour. I thought he had a great Origin series. But also what's lost in this is him going back and giving back, playing at the Koori knockout. You know, risking everything, risking injury. I understand James Roberts went back, Jesse Ramian, probably a few other guys. Fafita boys, I think they may have played. So great what they're doing for the Koori knockout out there, and I mean that's been lost. But yeah, he'd be really struggling, I think, Greg.
Was it the right call in the end to ban him from the matches?
Who would know? Don't know. You break the law and you just get stood down. Mitchell Pearce, whatever Mitchell Pearce did, and he gets fined $125,000. If I was Mitchell Pearce, I'd be appealing that right now, saying let's compare what's happened over the last couple of months with different players. Talk about South, none of them got fined. Anyway.
What do you make of the Australian team?
Yeah, it's a new look team.
Daly Cherry Evans in there at halfback.
Yeah.
Guaranteed the spot.
Well, I thought Luke Keary could have been.
Yeah. Well, Cameron Munster, he could have been banned, but in the end it was a contrary conduct charge and he's paid the fine and he's
very lucky, I think, Cameron Munster.
The kick in the head to Joey Marner.
Well, they shouldn't take into consideration how hard the kick was. If you stab someone, doesn't matter if you do it with a butter knife or a bayonet, you still stab someone. So, yeah, I think he's very lucky, Cameron Munster.
And DCE, the man for the job in the
Well, he had a great Origin 3, so that would have stuck in Malman Inga and also Darren Lockyer, who's the selector. So, yeah, good on Daly. He's been thereabouts, but been in the wilderness for a while, so... but I think Luke Keary will be snapping at his heels.
All right, bring it on. The test against New Zealand and Tonga here on 19 October, of course. Going to finish off. Want to get that CEO cap of yours on, Jelly. Want your thoughts on who you'd sign now and into the future. Who is the current best player in the competition right now?
Probably have to go Kalen Ponga, the best young player. Damien Cook's right up there. Luke Keary. Luke Keary's gone from being a backup singer to Axl Rose. You know, he can do it all on his own. I was so surprised with the performance the second half against South Sydney, but then the grand final, where he had the whole week to think about how he had to kick, how he had to pass, he had to play both sides of the field, how he was going to do it. Defensively, he was strong. You know, moving forward, he's an out-and-out halfback. His stocks of boom. Yeah, Woodside.
Look at you go.
Trolling.
Well, so what are they for New South Wales with Nathan Cleary there as well? The Cleary.
Well, there was a little conversation between somebody after the grand final. Myself and Freddie had a quick chat about Keary. You know, he's an out-and-out halfback. The way Nathan Cleary played this year at Origin, I think he played more like a 5'8", and James Maloney played like a halfback. So if you're picking your Origin team tomorrow, it'd be Keary at 7, Nathan Cleary at 6.
Okay. Watch this space on that one. So, best player in the comp at the moment, Kalen Ponga?
Yeah.
Okay. What about in 5 years' time? Who'll be the best player in the comp?
I'd say he'll be thereabouts. I just hope he stays injury-free, Kalen Ponga. I understand he's a big chance of playing 5'8" next year, so it's a whole new world for Kalen Ponga. More quality ball, more first receiver ball, combination with Mitchell Pearce, but then, you know, he's getting the ball off offloads around the ruck. Frightening.
Any players under the 30 years of age who could be joining you in immortality down the track? It's a real crystal ball job, this one.
Oh, wow. It's a hard one to think about. Ponga, if he
Probably,
keeps on that steep increase, he would be one. Yeah, pretty hard to pick one.
Very early days. Anything else going on that head for the final time, Joe?
No,
How the nappies going?
Nappies are going okay.
Sleep all right?
Yeah, sleep's broken. 3 or 4 hours and then up. What am I thinking? Oh, it's the off season, so everyone behave himself out there. Cricket's coming up. Tennis is coming up.
Well
Roger,
said.
Roger, don't retire.
It's all about Roger, Serena, and our lot, Kyrgios and Tomic.
Oh, yes.
And Ash Barty. Bring it up. Thanks, Joey.
No problem.
There it is, Immortal Behaviour with the 8th for the final time in 2018.
It's tea, black tea.